The day I bought my first house was supposed to be the proudest moment of my life. After years of working overtime as a nurse, skipping vacations, and pinching every penny, I finally had a place to call my own. It wasn't a mansion, but it was cozy, with a little garden out front and enough space to host family dinners. I imagined bringing my parents over, showing them the place and hearing my mom say, "I'm so proud of you, Mia." But life doesn't always go as planned. My parents, George and Linda, have always favoured my younger sister, Olivia. Olivia is, how do I put this? She's the type of person who'd crash your car and blame you for parking it in the wrong place. Growing up, she got everything handed to her on a silver platter. She was the cheerleader, the golden child, the one my parents would brag about at every family gathering. Meanwhile, I was the awkward bookworm who stayed in the background, quietly cleaning up her messes. Still, I didn't mind. Or at least, I told myself I didn't. When I told my parents about the house, they were lukewarm. My mum asked, "Are you sure you can handle a mortgage?" My dad muttered something about the responsibility of homeownership. Olivia, on the other hand, sneered and said, "Wow, Mia, a house in that neighbourhood. Guess you're settling, huh?" It stung, but I let it slide. I'd learned over the years that arguing with Olivia was like trying to reason with a hurricane. You'd just end up drenched and defeated. A few months after moving in, disaster struck. Olivia's relationship with her boyfriend Jake imploded in spectacular fashion. She showed up at my parents' house in tears, claiming Jake had cheated on her and she had nowhere to go. My parents, of course, sprang into action. They consoled her, told her she deserved better, and immediately started brainstorming solutions. And that's when it happened. My mum called me one evening and said, "Mia, honey, we've been thinking. Olivia needs a stable place to live right now. Would you mind letting her stay with you for a while?" I hesitated. Olivia and I had never gotten along. The thought of her invading my sanctuary filled me with dread. But my mum's voice was pleading, and a part of me still craved their approval. "All right," I said reluctantly, "but only for a couple of months. She needs to find her own place." Big mistake. Olivia moved in with 2 suitcases and an air of entitlement. Within days, she was treating the place like it was hers. She rearranged my furniture, threw parties without asking, and lost my favourite coffee mug. When I confronted her, she rolled her eyes and said, "Relax, Mia. It's just stuff." Things escalated when she started bringing her new boyfriend Ryan over. Ryan was loud, obnoxious, and had a habit of leaving beer bottles everywhere. I told Olivia he couldn't stay overnight, but she ignored me. It was my house, but suddenly I felt like a guest in it. The final straw came 6 months later. I came home from a grueling 12-hour shift to find Olivia's friends sprawled across my couch, blasting music and eating pizza. My dining table, the one I'd saved up for, had a massive scratch down the middle. Furious, I told everyone to leave and confronted Olivia. "This is my house," I snapped. "You can't keep disrespecting my space like this." Olivia crossed her arms and smirked. "Actually, it's our house. Mom and Dad said so." "What are you talking about?" That's when she dropped the bombshell. My parents had decided it would be better for the family if Olivia stayed permanently. They'd even suggested I move back into my childhood bedroom at their house. I was speechless. My parents, the people who were supposed to support me, had essentially given my house to Olivia. I told them I wasn't leaving, but they guilted me, saying Olivia needed it more. I spent a week crying and fuming. Then something in me snapped. I'd worked too hard for this house to let Olivia and my parents walk all over me. If they wanted to play dirty, so could I. First, I consulted a lawyer to ensure everything was airtight. The house was in my name, and I had the mortgage documents to prove it. Next, I started documenting everything: the noise complaints, the damage to my property, the unauthorized guests. Then, I gave Olivia an ultimatum. "You have 30 days to find another place," I said. "If you're not out by then, I'll take legal action." She laughed in my face. "Mum and Dad will never let you do that," she said. She was right. My parents called me, furious. They accused me of being selfish and tearing the family apart, but I stood my ground. For the first time in my life, I put myself first. The 30 days came and went. Olivia didn't leave, so I followed through with my plan. My lawyer sent her a formal eviction notice, and when she still refused to move, I filed a case in small claims court. The judge ruled in my favour, and Olivia was forced to pack her bags. The fallout was messy. My parents stopped speaking to me for months, and Olivia spread rumours about me to anyone who'd listen. But slowly, the dust settled. I reclaimed my home and my peace of mind. And then, karma came knocking. Olivia's reckless spending and lack of responsibility finally caught up with her. She defaulted on loans, lost her job, and ended up moving back in with my parents. They'd given up my house for her, and now they were stuck with her. As for me, I rebuilt my life. I redecorated my house, made new friends, and even adopted a dog. Every time I look around my little home, I'm reminded of how far I've come and how sometimes Standing up for yourself is the best thing you can do.